book lovers? It's G here, and I'm here today with my Rare 2025 TBR. So if you don't know what Rare is, it stands for the Romance Authors and Readers Event, and here in Australia it's taking place in October, my birthday month, the month that I go to the next decade. But this is happening in early October, that's happening in late October. I think it's gonna be the last big event of my 20s. I'm so excited. I went to Rare 2023. At the same location, it will be happening in Melbourne. I am located in another state from Melbourne, so I'm very much looking forward to making it vacation week. It's gonna be so fun. And I'm also gonna reunite with some of my booktube besties. I'm just really excited. Now, here I am with a TBR, and this is gonna be interesting because I really hope it ages well. With my Babe TBR, unfortunately a few of the authors who were attending Babe at one point are no longer attending Babe. If you guys don't happen to know, Babe is another romance author book event that takes place in Sydney, and that takes place months before Rare, that I'm very much looking forward to, especially because we're gonna wear ball gowns and we're gonna get our book signed, and that's gonna be really exciting. But a lot of authors whose books I wanted to read have pulled out, so this will be very interesting because right now I'm filming this early 2025 and this event is happening late 2025, and I'm just really hoping that none of these authors pull out of the event because I'm just so looking forward to meeting them. We'll see. I hope that this video ages well. So essentially I want to read a bunch of these books before I get to the event. Thankfully there are a lot of authors there that I already know and love, and I believe that I've read books from, and there are some books that are on my physical TBR that I want to talk about today. There's also another book that's gonna end up on my physical TBR, but as I'm filming this video right now I do not own it. It's actually coming in a subscription box, but I will mention that in this video today as well. And there are so many other books that I don't yet physically own, but I would love to listen to on audio. I might make a second part for that because, you know, my physical TBR is stacked enough as it is. So I'm gonna strictly focus on the books that I physically own. And before we proceed with this video today, be sure to hit the subscribe button if you want to see more content like this in the future. According to my YouTube analytics, majority of you guys who watch my channel on a regular basis aren't subscribed. So if you want to help a girl out, please make sure to hit that button. Additional ways to help me out, please like this video and follow author Gianna Jones on TikTok and Instagram for more bookish content. I deeply appreciate all the support that I've been given so far, but yeah, those are just some additional ways to support me if you want to. Anyway, without further ado, let's proceed with the video. I'm gonna start off with an author that I have previously met, but I would love to meet again because the last time I met them, I only read 1.5 books from them, and since then, I've gone on to read 9 books from this author. And I definitely want to read The Striker by Anna Huang, but there are so many other books that I do want to get to, like, you know, the rest of the Kings of Sin series. Anna Huang right now is coming to Rare. Knock on wood. Fingers crossed. They were the sweetest and kindest person when I met them. I mean, I'm gonna say that about a few authors on this list today because a few of these authors have already made it to a Rare. I just kind of know that some of these authors are gonna show up because they're loyal to Rare, and I have a feeling that Anna is not gonna drop out. I mean, look, if she does drop out, I believe it will be for a very understandable reason. All of that to say, I believe that Anna Huang is kind of like loyal to Rare, so there's a high chance that she will not drop out of the event. Maybe this is just wishful thinking. I am very much looking forward to meeting her again. If I don't get to meet her again this time, then it will happen one day. Also, I do want to purchase the fan art that she has like exclusively at her signings. Last time I missed out on it. I read the Twisted series, the rest of the Twisted series after meeting her, and I was like, man, I really wish I purchased that fan art. I'm really hoping to do that this time round, but I do want to get to The Striker. This one will be a very interesting situation because I never imagined Anna Huang writing a sports romance. Like, I very much love the romantic suspense of the Twisted series, and I love like the Kings of Sin series. I also love like the college vibes that we get from the If Love series, I think that's what it's called, the series that was written before the Twisted series. Very much appreciate all those vibes, but these are new vibes from Anna Huang. Looking forward to exploring this territory before meeting her. So I might get to this series, or I might continue on with the Kings of Sin series in the lead up to Rare, or maybe I just might reread the books that I've already read because, yeah, honestly, the Twisted series is definitely a comfort series for me. I did enjoy the If Love series. I think that series was pretty fun as well. And another author that I've met previously, in fact, you know what? Majority of the books on this list are from authors that I've met met previously. Wow. Okay, so Sarah A. Parker was at the Rare event of 2023, and this was before like when the Moon Hatch took off, right? Like, I mean, To Bleed a Crystal Bloom was still booming on Kindle Unlimited. Like, that series was so popular, and I do remember those books selling out on like the first day of the event of Rare 2023. I remember that being said either at the event itself or like through Instagram stories. That's what I heard. In fact, this is a very interesting story. I remember actually picking up my pre-order. This is a very beautiful hardback of To Bleed a Crystal Bloom. I have this series in hardback, the independently published hardback, and yes, right here I've got like Lovely to Meet You. I still haven't read this book though. That's why I'm putting it on this TBR. Absolutely stunning hardback. So I remember pre-ordering these hardbacks before the event, right? And I was picking my order up, and my bag had 2 paperbacks for like the first and second books of the series as well. I was just like, oh, you know, as much as this is tempting to take, I didn't pre-order these. They have different covers. That's why I was just like, yeah, you know, if I was to be honest, I didn't actually pre-order these, and they had thanked me for being honest because they were like, oh, then someone else has the opportunity of collecting the series. I just thought, you know, like, I mean, I pretty much did the bare minimum, but I did feel special for them saying that they very much appreciated the gift in like giving those 2 books back to them even though I didn't pay for them, but they had made it out to be like I was giving them a gift, you know, and that just made me feel a little bit more special. But Sarah was absolutely sweet, and honestly, I just kind of just really want to meet her again. But also this time, I actually want to read a book by her before meeting her so that I could truly appreciate the full experience, you know? So unlike Anna Huang, I have not read 9 books by Sarah A. Parker. Does Sarah A. Parker have 9 books? I don't know. But I have heard nothing but great things about this series. I've heard great things about When the Moon Hatched as well. I've actually read a little bit of Sarah A. Parker's work. I did read the first couple of chapters of When the Moon Hatched when it was still independently published. Eventually, I'll either finish that book or I will finish this book, but what I do know is that before I meet her again, I certainly want to read at least 1 book by her. And if I do in fact meet her at Rare 2025, I think I would take one of my copies of When the Moon Hatched to get signed. I'm pretty sure maybe my Fairy Loot edition might be signed. If not, of course I'll take that, but I'm pretty sure I did get the 3rd hardback in this series as well, so maybe I might just take the 3rd book in this series to get signed, because I got the first 2 books signed by her, which was very exciting. I just need to read her stuff. Like, as much as I've told myself that I really need to kind of like steer clear of reading romantasy while I'm writing romantasy, I just know that eventually I will cave. I am so close to caving right now, and I think this series might just be the one that I would cave with, really. You know what's funny about this? At Rare 2023, Sarah A. Parker's table was right next to Ivy Asher's table. From memory, their tables were situated kind of next to each other, and if not, at least they were 2 tables away from each other. Ivy Asher is another author that I need to read so badly. I met them, I had a great experience with them, and I have a good amount of books from them. I have maybe at least like 7 books. No, well, like two copies of Order of Scorpions. In fact, I'm planning to bring this copy of Order of Scorpions to the event because it's not signed. So this is the Apolicon exclusive edition of Order of Scorpions, and I purchased this very beautiful Arcane Society exclusive edition from their restock, and it never got signed. And you know what? That's okay, because I personally want to get this signed by Ivy. And the funny thing is, the last time that I met her, I got my fabled exclusive edition of Order of Scorpions signed. And now it will be the Arcane Society exclusive edition. Seriously cannot wait to meet her again, but I need to read at least one thing by Ivy Asher, I swear. Because honestly, we had a great conversation about her time in Australia so far, the fact that she didn't like Sydney weather as opposed to Melbourne weather at the time because Sydney was just going through a really bad heat wave, and honestly, Ivy came to Sydney at the wrong time of the year. If there's any time of the year I would not recommend anyone go to Sydney, it is February, because it is so stinking hot in February. The heat wave, the mugginess, ugh, yeah, you know. Ivy just so happened to go to Sydney between February and March, and that was the end of the story. She was just like, I don't like Sydney. I'm like, trust me, you should probably go at another time of the year. You will love it, I promise. So like, I had a memorable conversation with Ivy Asher, and I do want to meet her again, but I still have not yet read anything by Ivy Asher, and I have at least like 8 or 9 books by her, so it needs to happen. And I do plan on taking Order of Scorpions with me, but in all honesty, I don't know whether I'm gonna get to this one first or if I'm gonna read the other books. There are shorter books by Ivy Asher that I could get to first, but Order of Scorpions is a pretty lengthy standalone. How many pages does my edition have? Yeah, 653 pages. I mean, I've heard great things about it. It's a favorite book of many, and I gotta read it. But if I don't get to this one, then I might get to either The Bone Witch, which is the first book in the Osseous Chronicles. I do have the bind-up of that, thanks to the Arcane Society, or maybe Into Their Woods, or maybe even the Hell's Gate Guardian series, which I actually did purchase from Ivy, from her pre-order form for Rare 2023. So who knows? We will see. But an author that I really do want to read from is Ivy Asher, but I would love to get to Order of Scorpions because I hear that this is one of their best works. And speaking of authors that I had a memorable encounter with, Colette Rhodes. I really want to read Luxuria by Colette Rhodes. Okay, so the State of Grace series was on my top 24 of 2024. I mean, it was in the top 3. Oh my goodness. I love that book series so much, but I do remember when I had first met Colette Rhodes at Rare 2023. She was also at Rare 2023. In fact, a lot of these authors were at Rare 2023. Colette Rhodes is a New Zealander author, so neighbor to me. I just remember seeing the State of Grace special edition set, which I actually own, on the table, and I was like, oh my goodness, the set literally has my name on it. It's calling for me, like I need to buy it, right? It was kind of just like a funny inside joke throughout the event. They're like, oh my goodness, it's Grace, it's Grace. I didn't even know that the protagonist of the State of Grace series was named Grace, which is incredible. Colette was just absolutely lovely. But now that I've read that series, and now that that series is one of my favorite series of all time, I feel like it is just gonna change everything when I meet Colette again. I cannot wait to tell Colette how much the State of Grace series means to me. Like, who knows, maybe I might even be very weird in front of her. I don't know. I mean, I've embraced my awkward girl persona because that's just who I am, you know? I no longer choose to be embarrassed about it. I mean, hopefully I don't come off as too much, but I mean, I'll just be me. The story just means a lot to me, and I just really want to tell her how much it means to me. It is what it is. But with Luxuria, right, this series, I actually wanted to read from them first. Like with the State of Grace series, I saw those covers on Kindle Unlimited. I didn't really think twice about it, but the Luxuria series, when I first saw this cover, it really caught my attention. I'm not sure if these are like gargoyle-esque monsters, but yeah, no, I just kind of got those vibes. And now when I think about it, it kind of gives me Lillian Lark vibes and Katie Robert vibes. And what's very interesting is that the series has actually had a repackage. This cover, I believe, is out of print. After book 3, the rest of the series went into a new cover direction. So I do plan on purchasing the new covers and going back and purchasing Luxuria, and the second book I do have but is it Superbia or something? Very beautiful names that end with ah. So that's a purchase that I'm looking forward to, and that is a good excuse to get something else signed by Colette. If they have any other editions of State of Grace, maybe I might purchase those. Maybe I might purchase even more books by Colette Rhodes, because honestly, after State of Grace, I just need to read everything from them. I really do. Like, State of Grace changed my life for the better. It cleared my skin, it creamed my crops, it changed my life. Like, seriously, I'm a changed woman after that series. What more can I say? But I'm also a changed woman after this series right here, the Duskwalker Brides. I have met Opal Reyne before. I met them twice at Rare 2023. I remember, I think, the first time I was like, you know, maybe I might come back tomorrow to get some fan art. And yes, indeed, the next day I went back to the table to get some fan art, and I decided, you know, I wasn't gonna be shy anymore. I was gonna ask for a photo with them. Back then, I had not read any of the Duskwalker Brides books. At the point that I'm filming this video, I've read 2 of the books in the series. Now, as I'm filming this video right now, I don't know if the 3rd audiobook is out. I'm waiting for the audiobooks to come out because I love the audio narration from, get this, love his name, Wolfgang Milliken. Absolutely phenomenal narrator with a sick name. Honestly, their performance of Orpheus and Nameless, like, blew me out of the way. It knocked me out of the park. Once again, my life has changed. I don't know how much more I need to convince you all to pick the series up. I did mention this in like a few videos before. Like, I feel like the world would be a much more wholesome place if everyone just picked this series up. Like, hear me out, okay? It's just so wholesome. And I can't wait to read A Soul to Touch. This is the 3rd book in the series. I can't wait to read all the books, obviously, but I am hoping that by the time we get to Rare 2025, that maybe books 3 and 4 perhaps will be in audio form. Maybe more. I don't know. It's been a while since I listened to A Soul to Heal, and I loved A Soul to Heal. I really want to listen to the audiobook of A Soul to Touch. I really hope that it comes out soon. At the point that I'm filming this video, I have not yet read a fiction title this year. I wonder if this is going to be the first one that I read this year. Seriously, everything that I've read this year so far has been self-help. this will be a good breakaway. The best hear me out ever, in my opinion. Overall, I cannot wait to meet them again and to tell them how much I love their books. I do kind of feel a little bit embarrassed because I was nervous to buy their Monster Effer sticker because the autograph book that I came with, I'd say that I would take it to work as well because I do work for a publisher, and it would just feel weird to have a Monster Effer sticker in my book, right? I just felt kind of like bad. It could just be me. It could just be me making things up in my head. Opal chose to stay silent, but I could notice that they were like shrugging a little bit. I'm like, no, I'm sorry. Now I fully embrace the whole like Monster Effer trend and stuff. Back then, I was very much new to it all, and now I fully embrace it, okay? Here on this channel, we don't judge, all right? Here on this channel, we hear each other out. We listen, we don't judge, okay? Yeah, next time I meet Opal, I'm 100% apologetic about my love for monster romance. 100%. I swear, there are gonna be at least 2 or 3 authors on this list that I have not met yet. But I'm gonna talk about a couple more that I have met, but the last 2 that I'm gonna mention that I have already met, actually, funnily enough, I did not meet at Rare. I met them at either a different book event or I've actually met them in my professional life. So I'm gonna start off with the one that I met at another book event, and that, my friends, is K.A. Knight. I really want to read The Diver's Heart. So this book I have a very beautiful special edition of, and this is from Bookish and Spice. They did an absolutely beautiful special edition pre-order that I did miss initially. I did miss this pre-order initially. I was devastated about it, but they did a restock and I purchased it like wildfire. Like, I just desperately needed this in my life because look at this naked hardback. It is so gorgeous. This is definitely one of my favorite standalone special editions that I have on my shelf, and I've met K.A. Knight, and K.A. Knight was very lovely. Katie is so lovely. At the time of meeting them, I did read Den of Vipers. Did I read Den of Vipers before meeting them or after meeting them? I'm not sure, but I've read Den of Vipers and I kind of have like 3 copies of that book. I have 2 special editions of that book, and I also have a bonus scenes booklet as well that I have not yet read. So Den of Vipers bonus scene booklet from them. They gave that for free at the signing, and that was very lovely of them. I'm just so happy that I received that. It was very nice. But yeah, I just can't wait to meet them again, honestly. And I am seriously hoping to read this book this year because I've heard great things about Diver's Heart. I also do want to read the Court of Nightmares series. There's Court of Nightmares, Court of Death, Court of Beasts, and there's another one that also came out as well. I've got the first 3 books in hardback that I might get signed as well. I also have the Bookish Box special edition of that one too, and I have the Fabled exclusive edition of that one as well. I have a lot of books by K.A. Knight, and I've only read Den of Vipers. That needs to change. But Diver's Heart is one that I feel like is going to be a little bit easier to get into because it is a standalone, and I feel like it's one that I can read whilst I am going through the writing and revision process of my novel because it's so vastly different from what I'm writing. I feel like with Court of Nightmares and with romantasy in general, I'm just a little bit scared. This is just based on a tip that I've received from a writing mentor. They do encourage you to not read any books within the same genre that you're writing in at the time, just in case you subconsciously get things mixed up in your head and stuff. And also confidence crisis for multiple reasons. So that's why I'm a little bit nervous to jump into a romantasy at the time that I'm filming this video as I'm speaking right now. But I feel like Diver's Heart will be an easy one to kind of just like digest on the side. It's a different genre from what I know. I mean, this one is most likely romantic contemporary, maybe suspense, who knows? But what I do know is that it certainly looks like it's a why choose. But then again, it's K.A. Knight, and everything that I've read from K.A. Knight / heard of from K.A. Knight so far, even though they've written a lot of books, has been a why choose. I'm looking forward to it. I think this one is one that I definitely want to get to this year, like 100%. Now I'm gonna move on to the authors that I have not yet read from, nor have I met yet. And speaking of romantic suspense, this one pretty much says that it's romantic suspense in the title. I've got the Valetti Crime Family by Willow Winters. Willow Winters is attending Rare 2025, and I've heard great things about their work. There are so many books that I've wanted to try out from them based on recommendations. I actually purchased this book from, there's this bookshop in Bowral called Books Ever After. It's a bookstore that's like 2 hours away from where I live, but honestly, they do like the most beautiful foiled special editions, and they have a massive range of Willow Winters books. I believe that Willow Winters is a favorite author there, so like honestly, like seeing that they love Willow Winters books, it just kind of makes me excited and hyped to read books books from them myself. So right here, I've got this very beautiful bind up that was foiled in my possession, and I seriously cannot wait to try it out. This is a bind up of 5 books. This bind up altogether is 800 pages, but you know what? I'll probably get to the first book in the series, and from there I will make up my mind as to whether or not I want to read all of them before Rare 2025, or if I just want to kind of like go off my knowledge of one book. This is lovely, and I seriously cannot wait to meet them, and I can't wait to try out new things. Technically, almost every author that I've talked about on this list today, you know, I've read from them previously, or I've met them. I really need to get out of my shell and meet new people. The second last author that I have to bring up on this TBR video today is Pam Godwin, and there are way too many books by Pam Godwin that I want to read, but I still have not read from them. Now, I have heard from many voices in the romantic suspense and dark romance community that Pam Godwin is a pro. I remember Knotted being added to one of my subscription services. This is the Fabled exclusive edition that I'm holding in my hand, but as I'm filming this video, I also have the Bookish and Spice special editions of a few books that I'm so excited to receive. So like Sea of Ruin and Dark Notes, I feel like those are the 2 books that I want to read from them the most. And I'm also receiving a Bookish box special edition of Knotted as well, because that was featured in their monthly book box as well. So there's that. There's this series. There's also Beneath the Burn. There are so many series by Pam Godwin that I do want to read eventually. And honestly, if there's any book that I actually wanted to read first by Pam Godwin, it would have probably been Sea of Ruin, because that one is technically bordering on fantasy, but not. I mean, that one is like pirates and whatnot. But then I'm hearing great things about Dark Notes. But then I'm hearing great things about Knotted. I don't know which book I'm gonna get to by Pam Godwin first, but this is just like a placeholder position for any Pam Godwin book. I want to read at least one book by them before meeting them. I've actually wanted to read their books for like maybe the past 2 years now. I still have not had the opportunity to. I feel like once I do, I am going to be put into a chokehold. There are some dark romances or some dark books that I really don't get, and then there are some where I'm just like, oh my goodness, the adrenaline is high, it's kicking, right? I'm expecting Pam Godwin's books to be high adrenaline reads. I'm fully prepared for that. So that's kind of why I'm a little bit nervous to start. I mean, I've had Knotted on my shelf for a while now. I'm a little chicken when it comes to high adrenaline reads sometimes. Like, I just want my sleep, you know? We'll see how I go. My camera battery is just about to die. Really? Really? And last but certainly not least, speaking of Bookish and Spice, they are gonna do a monthly special exclusive edition of Maria Rose's Hunt Me Darling. Now, I actually initially was planning to purchase or pre-order this book through Maria Rose's pre-order form, but when I saw that this was coming in my subscription, I'm like, oh my goodness, it's coming to me early so that I could read it early? I mean, that's great. That's seriously great. So I'm very much looking forward to receiving this very beautiful special edition. As I'm filming this right now, I have not seen a clue of what it looks like. Who knows? By the time this video goes up, I will have probably done the unboxing by now. I can never predict when like the videos that aren't super time sensitive go up, you know? I mean, this isn't super time sensitive. Literally, Rare 2025 is in October, and I'm filming this in January. It's the February book pick of the month for Bookish and Spice. So that's why, as I'm filming this video, I don't have the very beautiful special edition. I suspect it is going to be very beautiful because Bookish and Spice do very beautiful special editions, and I don't think this is going to be an exception. Very much looking forward to this one. Once again, it looks like a romantic suspense. I mean, I've read the synopsis of this one, and oh boy, this one seems pretty exciting. I believe this is a trilogy as well, and I can't wait to read it. And additionally, there are also many authors who are attending both Rare and Babe. Maria Rose is one of them. I could have mentioned them in my Babe TBR, but at that point, I did not own any of their books, nor was I to expect any of the books come into my library. And if you've watched my Babe 2025 TBR, you would know that I did also mention books that I did pre-order from like special edition book companies that were gonna come in and I was gonna read, like Rebecca Quinn and Jay Wilder with Fake Rate. Maybe someone else as well, but kind of similar situation. I'm waiting for a very beautiful special edition to come in, and I'm very much looking forward to reading my copy of that book, and I cannot wait to meet them as well. I really hope I love this book. I feel like it's the book that calls to me the most out of their list. I'm just super stoked. I'm super excited. And of course, yes, there are so many other authors that I wish that I could read books from, like, within this time. Like, Whitney Dean is also coming to Rare 2025, and there are so many other authors that I have the books for as well that I really do want to get to, but I'm just like giving myself a little bit of a realistic list. I was surprised that I did include to Bleed a Crystal Bloom. Like I was really nervous about that one. I was like, should I? You know, because I also want to read Whitney Dean. I really want to read their books very badly, but when it comes to thick romanticises right now, I have to kind of like restrain myself. But I am planning to meet Whitney Dean. I'm planning to meet all the different romantasy authors as well. Like seriously, what a lineup. I'm so excited for Rare 2025. I really hope that I can vlog some of the experience as well. I'm really hoping to do some collaborations. I'm hoping to have a great vacation as well because I'm planning to be in Melbourne for a week. And yeah, Camilo and I are just gonna have a very fun time. It's gonna be very fun. It's gonna be the last big event of my 20s. I can't wait. So I guess that's gonna be it for this video today, book lovers. If you happen to stay to the end of the video, leave me the blue heart emoji. And if you happen to enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet already. Join the amazing community of book lovers. And also I have social medias. I'm at author Gianna Jones on TikTok and Instagram if you want to follow me there for some more bookish content. I love you, book lovers, and I will see you later. Peace.
Started out with half and I flipped it into double. Started out with half and I flipped it into double.